Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most notable stories of actors suffering through makeup and prosthetics ordeals for certain roles.
I want you to join me.
Number 10. Walton Goggins, Fallout. With red skin, sunken eye sockets, and an open nasal cavity, Walton Goggins transformed into Cooper Howard, known more ominously as the Ghoul.
You know your kind ain't welcome here.
Well, maybe not. But I'm gonna make myself welcome.
In the world of Fallout, ghouls are human beings who have been exposed to prolonged radiation, turning their skin rotten and causing them to go mad. According to Goggins, he wanted the ghoul to look like, quote, Chris Christopherson if he were 250 years old and had been walking the wasteland and had been drinking all night.
The makeup was thin enough that you could still see all of the expressiveness of his performance, but also textured real enough to capture the look and feeling of the ghoul.
This required 5 hours in the makeup chair, in what Goggins has described as, quote, an intense process. Luckily for him, his nose was digitally removed in post, so that saved him an extra hour or two.
Ain't much stays clean up here, Volty. You'll see.
Number 9. Rebecca Romijn and Jennifer Lawrence, the X-Men franchise. It turns out that making someone's entire body blue is quite the process. Who'd have thought?
Would you date me?
Of course I would. Any young man would be lucky to have you. You're stunning.
Looking like this.
What? Blue.
Rebecca Romijn had a tough time transforming into Mystique, requiring over 100 silicone prosthetics and up to 9 hours in the makeup chair.
It was like 2/3 of my body covered in prosthetics, and the rest was all airbrushed.
She was also forced to inhale the paint fumes, as the facility did not have a proper exhaust system, and she didn't often interact with the cast or crew, spending most of her day in the makeup room. She's since called the process, quote, hell. No doubt. Jennifer Lawrence also endured hell on the set of First Class, as the makeup took about 8 hours to apply and caused blisters to form on her skin.
You can tell me what's the matter, or do I have to read your mind?
Number 8. Tim Curry, Legend. Tim Curry is unrecognizable in Ridley Scott's Legend, playing the red-skinned Lord of Darkness.
We are all animals, my lady. Most are too afraid to see it.
The creature certainly looks the part, with sharp claws, massive horns, a long chin, hooves, yellow eyes, and sharp teeth. Basically, every square inch of Curry's body was covered with prosthetics, and unsurprisingly, it was quite the process to apply. Curry spent nearly 6 hours in the chair, plus an extra hour in the bath to remove the adhesives, every single day. The makeup also caused physical and psychological damage.
What have we here? A little boy.
The heavy horns often strained Curry's neck, and the layers of makeup made him claustrophobic.
They stuck it in your eye, and if it hurt, they sort of scraped at it a bit until it stopped hurting.
At one point, he even panicked and tore the makeup off himself, accidentally peeling a layer of skin in the process.
You can never defeat me.
Number 7. Dave Bautista, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Catathians are known for their teal skin and red tattoos that plaster much of their upper bodies, and Drax is no different.
Do not ever call me a thesaurus.
It's just a metaphor, dude.
His people are completely literal. Metaphors are gonna go over his head.
Nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are too fast. I would catch you.
Unfortunately for Dave Bautista, he does not naturally have teal skin or red tattoos plastering much of his upper body. Turning the human actor into a Catathian took between 5 and 6 hours, and by the end of the day, the makeup would be sloughing off his body. Bautista also claimed that the makeup was very abrasive, so he spent up to 1 hour in the sauna every day so he could sweat and loosen the glue.
I'm sure I'm invisible.
Hi, Drax.
And when it was loose enough, the makeup team would slowly and painfully peel it off his skin. Sounds like fun.
Forget.
Ha! You're lucky I was able to knock down that door with my incredible strength.
Number 6. Peter Weller, RoboCop. Just 2 years after working on Legend, makeup artist Rob Bottin was tasked with turning Peter Weller into RoboCop.
What are your prime directives?
Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law.
Bautista designed the suit himself, being influenced by classic science fiction and anime. It not only took 6 months to build, it also went way over budget and schedule. And then came Weller. According to him, doing the human face took nearly 7 hours, and simply getting into the suit required an extra 90 minutes.
In those days, after 6.5 hours, I would shoot for 5 or 6 hours because that's all that face would tolerate before the rubber would start to come off.
So that's over 8 hours physically getting into character, plus an extra 5 shooting his scenes. Now that's a long day. According to the actor, the whole experience, quote, demanded a Zen sort of discipline.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Number 5. Jamie Campbell Bower, Stranger Things. The 4th season of Stranger Things introduced Vecna, the grotesque and malicious ruler of the Upside Down.
Don't cry, Chrissy. It's time for your suffering to end.
As befitting the show's 80s theme, the filmmaking team decided to forego CGI in favor of prosthetics, much to the chagrin of actor Jamie Campbell Bower.
Now he's going to cry. Joy.
Yeah.
Makeup artist Barry Gower claimed that they really put him through the ringer, including 7 hours of application every single day. Bower was also essentially confined to an air-conditioned makeup tent for much of the shoot, as the hot studio lights threatened to melt his costume. So it was 7 hours of makeup, run out, shoot a scene, then go back to the tent just to literally chill. Repeat for many, many long days.
He did not make me into this. You did.
Number 4. John Hurt, The Elephant Man. David Lynch's The Elephant Man chronicles the life of Joseph Merrick, whose physical appearance attracted great attention in late 19th century London.
How are you feeling today?
I feel much better.
The task of playing Merrick fell on John Hurt, who earned his 2nd Oscar nomination for the performance. But he is unrecognizable under the pounds of makeup.
And then I was brought on to the set to a stunned silence.
The team used real casts of Merrick's body as a reference, and Hurt spent 10 hours each day in the makeup chair, 8 hours to apply the prosthetics and 2 to remove them. He would arrive on set at 5 a.m. and wouldn't leave until 10 p.m. But the results were well worth it. It was considered so good that the Academy created the Best Makeup category in response.
I am not an animal! I am a human being!
Number 3. John Rhys Davis, The Lord of the Rings trilogy. Making The Lord of the Rings was no easy feat. Virtually every aspect of the production was a monumental challenge, and that included turning the 6'1" John Rhys Davis into a dwarf.
Nobody tosses a dwarf!
Fancy camera angles and stunt doubles took care of his physical height, but what about his face? One makeup ordeal coming up. Rhys Davis spent up to 5 hours in the makeup chair, and even suffered an allergic reaction to the prosthetics, which often caused his eyes to swell shut.
My then and fabulous girlfriend said one day, "Honey, I don't know how to say this, but I can't bear to look at you."
It eventually got so bad that Rhys Davis received every 3rd day off so as to spare him the misery. He later declined a role in The Hobbit, citing the brutal makeup process as the reason.
I thought I'd die fighting side by side with an elf.
What about side by side with a friend?
I could do that.
Number 2. Buddy Epson, The Wizard of Oz. We've come a long way when it comes to movie makeup. Just look at the case of poor Buddy Epson. Epson was originally cast as the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz, and even recorded all of his songs before filming began. Epson made it just a few days into shooting before the aluminum dust in the Tin Man makeup started causing problems. Yes, you heard that right. Aluminum dust.
During costume screen tests, the makeup department powdered tin flakes onto his face to make him look like the Tin Man.
Epson would inhale this dust throughout the day, and it slowly coated his lungs. He was eventually hospitalized after suffering from numerous ailments, including cramps and shortness of breath. He was then replaced by Jack Haley, and would later blame, quote, "that damned movie" for his lifelong breathing problems. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Jim Carrey, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Dr. Seuss created some delightfully bizarre characters, but that wonderful whimsy eventually had a big cost for Jim Carrey.
Down for losers. I like it.
Carrey was cast to play the iconic Grump, with 7-time Oscar winner Rick Baker providing the makeup. The process was absolutely miserable for Carrey, who likened putting on the green furry spandex suit to being buried alive. A consultant who had trained CIA operatives to withstand mistreatment was eventually hired to calm Carrey down and help him navigate the entire ordeal, since it was bringing him immense discomfort and frustration.
He said, eat everything you see. And if you're freaking out and you start to spiral downward, turn the television on, change a pattern, have someone you know come up and smack you in the head.
The necessary yellow contact lenses also irritated Carrey's eyes to the point that he refused to wear them, and his eyes in some scenes were colored in post.
No hard feelings.
Would you be able to handle 8 hours in a makeup chair? Let us know in the comments below.
Cheer up, dude. It's Christmas.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.